Morning, Don. How are you?
Good morning, Sean. I'm very well indeed. Thank you.
All right. We found this a little bit odd, this wording from the Electoral Commission. And we've had more than one person say that in applying to work for the Electoral Commission, it seems the Commission has been very interested in their, if you like, political views or attitude towards the Treaty of Waitangi. Does that concern you?
Oh, it concerns me greatly, Sean. It's absolute bollocks. I mean, the treaty makes very clear that all citizens of New Zealand have equal rights. That's Article 3, unambiguously, and that's a fantastic basis for our citizenship.
Yeah.
To suggest there are some other additional unspoken or unwritten principles that people have to sign up to be to count votes or to screen voters is absolute nonsense.
But hang on, technically isn't the Commission right? The public service requires, because the Crown is a signatory to the Treaty of Waitangi, requires that, and interpretation over the years and by courts and others says the government has an obligation to uphold the treaty, to advance the cause of the treaty, and to adhere to the principles of the treaty. Therefore, that means all government agencies must do so. And presumably it then logically follows that they've got to have staff that are committed to the treaty and its principles. Doesn't this all naturally flow from one thing to another?
Yes, but what the treaty says unambiguously is Maori chiefs ceded sovereignty to the Crown. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Article 2, in return, the Crown says, we will protect your property rights. Nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah.
And in the third article, it says, in return for your ceding sovereignty to the Crown, we will guarantee you equal rights with other British subjects.
Right, okay.
Now,
so those are the principles, and our courts and our governments have said we have to uphold that deal, right? And you uphold that deal by having a public service that hires people that recognise that deal. What is wrong with that?
Well, if you're saying, do you believe that equal rights are for everybody? Well, I have no problem with that at all. But I suspect that is not what the public service and not what the Electoral Commission actually means by that. I mean, why would you ask someone, do you believe in equal rights? Well, of course I do. I mean, that's the basic
some people
principle
don't. Some people don't, Don.
Well, that's right. And they are the ones in breach of the treaty.
Yeah. And they're the ones who won't get the job at the Electoral Commission.
Yeah, it's an absolute travesty of justice, Sean. Travesty of justice.
I'm just trying to see where the travesty is, Don.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they understand the treaty correctly, there is no issue at all. All New Zealand citizens will be in favour of treating all citizens equally. If that's what it means, we can have no objection at all. But I suspect that's not what they mean.
Okay. Do you think the Electoral Commission is probably trying to keep out of its employ people who might cause trouble and people who might, whose political views they might disagree with?
I can't interpret it any other way, to be honest, Sean. And I must say, for that reason, it dismays me greatly.